All right, guys, today on the channel, we're going to do a review of Darkwolf from the Fire and Ice and Frank Frazetta Girls company or endeavor or department or store, whatever. But anyways, many of you who grew up in the 80s remember Darkwolf, remember Fire and Ice. It was one of the quintessential cartoons that we saw growing up. Not only that, but I remember Frank Frazetta's work. Frank Frazetta was one of my, he was up there with Todd McFarlane. I wish Frank Frazetta would have been fast enough in his artwork to actually draw us up comics. That would have been amazing. He was a painter. He was an amazing painter. Death Dealer, all the sci-fi and fantasy paintings that he put together, the t-shirts that I had with his artwork on it. He was an artist that made me want to learn more about art. He was one of the quintessential artists that, made me want to be an artist. I didn't grow up to be an artist, but I was pretty good at drawing. But anyways, these are the drawings that inspired these cartoons and inspired people and inspired stories. It just took you into a whole nother realm. This is one of his original artworks right here on the cover, and that's Darkwolf himself. So anyways, when I heard that they were going to do, or the Frazetta girls were going to do an action figure of him, I was ecstatic. I 100% wanted to be in on this. I wanted to see what they were going to do, and I was excited for it. Whether, here's the messed up part, whether the figure was good or not, I was all in. And so I wanted to see what they were going to do with it. And being that, his family comes from, an artist, I would figure they're going to do, we're going to see some quality stuff here. So I haven't seen any of the reviews of him so far from other reviewers. I usually don't. And whether I go controversial here or not, I don't care. I'm not a professional reviewer. This is just my opinion. And this is just, what I'm, my take on this figure. But I will tell you this. I really want to like this figure because I'm highly biased and I highly adore his artwork. So if anything, I'm hoping for the best here. All right. So let's take a look. So let me move him to the side a little bit because I want you to guys look at this artwork. How can you not be taken into a land that's, fire and ice? He created a world. Literally, his paintings are worth 1,000 words more. You can see, just a whole story is being told here, right? A protector or a barbarian, being pursued by monsters on a hill. Where did he come from? So many things are happening in this picture. So much action, a story. You want to learn more about this, right? So the packaging, by the virtue of having his picture on here alone, is inspiring. So here's the packaging. You got a picture of him right here on the side, Darkwolf. The back, a little bit of a story. Let's see if you guys want to pause it there, read about it. There you go. You got a picture here of the action figure and all that he comes with, all the accessories. And then some more here about the top, featuring 32 points of articulation. So there you go. And the Fire and Ice logo down here, 1/12 inch scale. Back to the front. Now it does have a Velcro, so you can open it up, and he does have some more kind of like photography in there of the action figure or the prototype. And then you got this background on here that you do see it, but it's so far in the background that, and you can open it up and see the figure from in here. Very nice packaging. They did a really great job. Just a really nice package. I am going to keep this box because it's a work of art, this doggone thing. It's got Frank Frazetta's stuff on it, his artwork on it. All right, let's get down to what we do here and review this action figure. I've been wanting to review him for weeks now. Number one, what we always do with these action figures, what ties me to this? And I think we just talked about it, right? He was a quintessential, I wanted to be a comic book artist. Todd McFarlane, you know, as funny as it is, Liefeld, Mark Silvestri, Eric Larson, Jim Lee, but Frank Frazetta was up there as well. These guys, you know, if I wasn't what I was now, I would have been a comic book artist, or I'd have tried my hardest to be one. So, anyways, I really loved his artwork. That's enough to say I loved his artwork. I had T-shirts. With the guy's artwork on it. And, you know, I didn't have pictures of Michelangelo or his artwork or Rembrandt's artwork or Picasso's art. I had pictures of Frazetta's artwork because it was amazing. Anyways, looking at this figure, just looking at what he looks like, the aesthetics of it, you know, the bronzing of the figure, you know, the texture, it's got like a bronze gold hammered look there, hammered look here on the, you know, loincloth and on the, you know, the belt here, and then the loincloth has got a texture to it as well. The you know, I don't know what that, I think that's supposed to be a wolf, but it looks more like a puma. He has hints of Batman in it, right? And maybe that's what drew me to this character. Just that hint of Batman on there. So, but I love the way that looks. I mean, you know, Frank Frazetta drew him. Of course he's going to look bad, fill in the blanks. You know, he just looks fantastic. The boots with the fur. Isn't that a song? Anyways, you know, the textures. You know what he feels like to me? He feels like the prey predator. He's got that same kind of malleable, hard, but not brittle plastic. But his hands are tough to get to, and we'll get into that later. So, but yeah, look at the detail there on the pectorals. Look at the detail on the bones there, on the skull, his teeth. Look at that. The texture up here, the texture on his arms, the bracelets there, or the gauntlets that he's wearing. Very, very nicely done. It looks fantastic. As far as aesthetics, this figure is, you know, again, I'm trying to hold back how much I love Frank Frazetta's artwork, but this looks like it literally just jumped off the freaking cover. So aesthetically, to me, it's a must-have. It's a 5.1. And we rate our figures here from 1 to 5. 1, it's trash. I'm going to go throw it in the trash can right now. 2, it's you know, give it to Goodwill, or give it to your little brother or niece or nephew. They can throw it around the room. It doesn't make any matter. It's a step above trash. 3, you can take it or leave it. It's a meh figure, you know. It's all right, but you can skip it. You won't be missing anything. 4 to 4.5, well, that's a solid figure. You should probably go get it. Solid figure, 4 to 4.5. 4.5 to 5 is a great figure. And when you get to 5.1, when you turn it up to 11 like Spinal Tap or Cold Slither, well, then that's a must-have. And to me, the aesthetics, if you're a kid of the 80s and you watched this and you admired and you adored Frank Frazetta's artwork, this is a must-have aesthetically. And now we get to the part where it breaks my heart. So, aesthetically, it's a must-have. As an action figure, let's go through and see how it actions. He can look to the left, he can look to the right. That's it. He's got very little articulation up or down. He's got some, but not very much. It's an action figure. We're being very honest here. It's not much. It's very hindered by this cowl that he has on his head. But he can look to the left and the right. He can look down, but he's almost like constantly hunched. So you can't look back at all. So that's unfortunate. Number 2, he has no butterfly there. So that's that. He can do a T-pose. So that's a plus. Very nicely done. He has no bicep cut. And I thought initially they were going to put a bicep cut there. So no bicep cut there, which is highly unfortunate. He has a single jointed elbow, or non-pinned, but it is a single jointed elbow. He does have a lot of mobility there, greater than 90 degrees. I wish they would have given him a double jointed elbow. But I get it. It might break up. This is an artist and it might break up the pose, but as an action figure, that is unacceptable. Moving along. You have, a basic joint down here at the arm. I think this is a dice roll joint. You have other joints back there as well, but there's a dice roll there. You have a cut at the upper waist there, right there, but do you have a cut below? I didn't check for that. No, you do not. It is solid. I'm trying to move it without no. So all you have is a cut right there at the upper torso. Just fine. I've seen a lot of figures that way. That's fine. That doesn't bother me at all. Now, how far can he move back and forward? He's got a little bit of range. I don't want to break him, but that's the range. So it's not bad, but it's not great. That's not what you want to hear from an action figure, right? You don't want to hear it's not bad. So that's how much he's got there. How far can he kick up? He can kick up about that far. Now, he does have a weird thing where you can kind of play with it and make him go a little higher, but if the loincloth gets in his way, so he can kick up about that high. So not very high at all. That's about it. I mean, how far can he go back? About that far. And then he has a weird kind of joint back here where you can get some rotation at the hip. So that's interesting there. I've never seen it done that way. Pardon, children turn away. So that's the kind of joint he's dealing with right there. Almost McFarlane-esque. But anyways, that's what he's got there. So no cut at the thigh, but definitely some good movement there. So that's fine. Now moving down into the knee, he's got a single jointed knee. Unacceptable as an action figure. I mean, it's just, but again, I understand maybe they were artists and they didn't want to break up the sculpt too much. I get it, but this is not, if you didn't want to break up the sculpt, guys, then you should have just given us a statue and I would have passed on it. But if you're going to call this an action figure, then you try to give us as much action as possible without breaking up the sculpt. And if you can't do that, then you break the sculpt. You give us the option to break the sculpt. That is what an action figure does. We'll make the decision whether we want to break up the sculpt or not. It's no longer about what you want. It's what the customer wants. So this is unfortunate. So this is as far as he goes back. And he doesn't go, that's it. There's no boot cut here that I can tell. This is the joint at the knee does do some boot cutting because it's the nature of the joint that they put in there. So you can do that with that joint. So there's that. And he does have a swivel at the ankle, but look at this. Eesh. That doesn't look great, but he does have a swivel and it goes that far down, that far up, which is a lot of mobility. So that's fine. Well, that's the figure. That's not good, guys. That's not good. As a figure, that's not good. My heart's broken by the articulation on it, but I truly love that he looks like he just stepped off of the, comic book or the drawing there. So what do I give it an articulation? Let me just show you something. Here he is. This is a $4 figure from Ollie's. A $4 figure. Look at the articulation in this figure. This is a $4, $5 figure now. Granted, it started at $24. Landed, it probably cost Hasbro maybe $8 to $10 to produce. Maybe. We'll be generous and we'll go to $12 to produce this thing. So this is at cost a $12 figure. Maybe this was produced in much higher quantities, but this is the figure. It has a butterfly joint. It has a cut at the bicep, double jointed pinned elbows. I would have rather had double joints, pinned elbows here as well. It has a cut at the thigh, kicks up tremendously high, a boot cut, double jointed pinned knees. I think this is the old Spidey body, but look at it. Look, can go this far back and this far forward. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you guys? This $4 figure from Ollie's that probably, I got on clearance, that ultimately is about, $12 landed for Hasbro. And this is an $80 figure. Granted, it was produced in much smaller quantities, but what we've become accustomed to as the standard and what we've gotten. So I'm going to have to give this, and it breaks my heart, but this is about a 3 in articulation. I mean, it's right up above, give it to your little brother to play with or your cousin or whatever for articulation. It's just not there. It's not there. Now, I haven't given it an overall grade because we still got to go, maybe this stuff will mitigate some of the pain points here. But looking at this, it's not looking good, Darkwolf. What does he have for accessories? Well, he's got this axe. It's very nicely done. It's got some washes on it. It's hammered. It looks very nice. It's a very nicely done axe. Lots of little details in it, chipped. It's been through some battles. It's a very nicely done axe. Very nice. This bow and arrow, it's very simple. Not much here to this bow and arrow. You get 3 arrows and then 1 silver one, I guess. But you get these 3 arrows, and it's very difficult for him to fire this arrow correctly, even though he comes with a special hand for it. We'll already talk about this hand. This is the special hand that he can pull back the string with. So that goes with the arrow already. But he does come with 3 arrows. It doesn't come with a quiver, and he does come with this bow. The bow isn't, it just looks like a piece of plastic. It doesn't look like it doesn't look like it's wood or anything. It's just that. So that's what you get with that. Nothing to write home about there. And then you get these faces that you can, actually he comes with this face attached. And you simply pop his head off and then attach this part up into his head. So he comes with a static face. He comes with an angry face. And then he comes with kind of a rage face, right there. Very nice. So that's very nice to have. So we'll put that here. And then he comes with quite a few hands. So he comes with these kind of alerted hands, right? Like he's trying to grasp something, a left or right, trying to grasp something kind of hand. So that's nice. That's 1 pair. And then you have these relaxed hands, which is another pair of hands right there. So that's another pair. And then you have these, so you have another pair of hands. You get 2 fists. One, of course, he has on, a right and a left. And then you get 2 grip hands, a right and a left. So there's that. So ultimately you get 1, 2, 3, 4, well, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of hands and a specialized hand for the bow. Overall, what are we going to rate this figure? Are the accessories enough to make up for the articulation? To some degree, but no. To me, this figure, for me personally, as it tugs at my nostalgia strings, and I was gonna get it regardless. So for me, it's a 5.1 personally, my personal score for me. But as unbiased as I can make this, what do I score this as a YouTube reviewer who brings no bias to it? I'd score this maybe at a 3.4. It's meh. It's meh. Because the entire point of an action figure is to action. You have to action. You have to give me the ability to action. And it is a huge drawback. If it's the most beautiful action figure in the world, but all it moves is a pinky finger, then you failed miserably, right? You failed miserably. And while it may have 32 points of articulation, they're poorly executed. Poorly. So, if you're like me, and you loved this cartoon, you love Frank Frazetta's artwork, he inspired you, you know, he brought worlds to life when you were young, then it's a 5.1 easily. You gotta go get it. Like I did. I'm gonna treasure this. I love it. But if you're a guy who doesn't really know a lot about this and wants a little Barbarian action figure and sees it out there and, you know, think, hey, this would be cool to have, just know what you're getting. You know, you're gonna get a meh action figure. It's meh. It looks cool, but does he action good? I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh on it. But like I said, personally, on a personal level, it's a must-have for me. It's a 5.1. But on a YouTube reviewer level that has no bias in this, it's a 3.4. Because he fails miserably in the articulation area. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Do you completely disagree? I haven't seen any of the reviews on YouTube. Maybe they disagree with me too and say it's the greatest thing since sliced bread or whatever. So let me know, guys. If I've informed you, if I've amused you, if I've entertained you, throw me a like, throw me a subscribe. And you know, I hope I have informed you on this figure. So guys, thanks for watching. And as always, as long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep rolling these out.